What's up, Niners fans? We are diving straight into all the action surrounding our San Francisco 49ers. And let me tell you, this season has already been a roller coaster of incredible plays and jaw-dropping moments. I have been watching some of the highlights, and one that instantly jumps out is Alfred Collins' punch-out. Honestly, that might just be one of the most spectacular defensive plays we've seen in a long time. The timing, the sheer force, the precision. It was a moment that could define the season, if you ask me. It's crazy to think about how football gives us these moments where everything lines up perfectly, where the chaos of a game suddenly freezes in a single, unforgettable play. And looking at the season as a whole, even though it's still early, there's already a handful of moments that stand out. You start thinking about it, and it's almost impossible to pick the absolute best play, because every game has so many moving parts, so many players stepping up in critical situations. But that's what makes it fun. That's what makes being a fan and watching every snap so thrilling. Offensively, one of the plays that really stuck with me this season was a deep catch by Ricky Pearl. There's just something about a perfectly executed 4th-and-1 conversion that sends chills down your spine. The throw was precise, right between the defenders, and Pearl just adjusted midair, stretched, and came down with it clean. It's one of those moments where you can't help but rewind and watch it again because it captures everything about what makes football incredible. The skill, the timing, the athleticism, and the sheer will to make something happen when it matters most. And then there's another catch, this one by Pearl as well, that deserves serious attention. Brock Purdy threw it a little short, almost underthrown, and Pearl managed to adjust, snatch it one-handed, and make it look effortless. Moments like these are what you live for as a fan. They remind you why you watch every week, why you get invested in the highs and lows of the season. On defense, there's been no shortage of standout plays either. Thursday night brought a couple of incredible moments that immediately make you think, did I just see that? Kyrie Williams made a critical play on a 4th-and-1 that could have easily swung the momentum. And Upton Stout's pass breakup against the Cardinals, that's the kind of play that stays in your mind for weeks, a reminder that every snap counts. But again, Alfred Collins' punch-out by Fred Warner might just take the cake. The timing, the intensity, it was as if the universe aligned to create one of those unforgettable defensive moments that fans will be talking about for years. And honestly, you can't even blame the running back who fumbled. The force behind it was unbelievable, and it shows how physical and unpredictable football can be at the highest level. Now, let's pivot to some news, because this is the part that you really clicked on for. Injuries have been a major storyline this season, and while no fan enjoys seeing players sidelined, there's no denying that availability plays a huge role in the dynamics of a matchup. The Buccaneers, for example, have been dealing with significant injuries, and it's starting to affect their depth at critical positions. Cornerbacks are one area where they've been hit hard, which opens opportunities for the 49ers to exploit matchups in the passing game. When you look at their pass defense efficiency through the first 5 weeks, it ranks near the bottom of the league, which is exactly the kind of matchup the Niners can capitalize on if they execute properly. And when you layer in travel schedules, time zone adjustments, and the physical demands of playing on the East Coast, every small advantage counts. The Niners are heading into this next game with a chance to take control early and dictate the pace. And that's exactly what you want to see from a team that's aiming to compete at the highest level week in and week out. On the player health front, there's some promising news for San Francisco. Brock Purdy is making progress and will not be placed on injured reserve, which is huge. Keeping him available, even in a limited capacity, ensures that the offense can maintain its rhythm and continue building momentum. Kevin Givens has also opened the practice window, signaling a potential return from his pec injury. While he might not be a game-changer in terms of replacing the likes of Forrest Buckner, his presence adds valuable depth to the defensive line, which is crucial given the number of snaps and rotations required over a grueling season. Malik Mustafa looks optimistic about playing this weekend against the Buccaneers, and if he can suit up, it provides yet another boost for a defense that thrives on energy and disruption. At the same time, core players like Colton McKivitz and Connor Colby not appearing on the injury report is a relief, ensuring that the offensive line remains as stable as possible during a crucial stretch of games. And speaking of the younger talent, Mike Williams continues to impress quietly. After a rough first game, many wrote him off, but his growth and development have been remarkable. He may not be racking up sacks yet, but his ability to set the edge and control the line of scrimmage shows that the long-term potential is off the charts. The kid just turned 21, and watching him develop into a reliable, impact player is exactly the kind of story that makes following the 49ers so exciting. It's these emerging stars, paired with established veterans, that create the perfect mix of experience and youth, keeping the team competitive week after week, while also building for the future. As for roster moves, the team has been active in shuffling the defensive depth, signing Bruce Hector to the practice squad, while releasing Jalen Mahoney. There's also talk of potentially elevating players like Evan Anderson or Sebastian Valdez, who have both shown flashes of brilliance in practice and preseason. Giving these players an opportunity in the regular season could provide a spark in key situations, especially with injuries affecting rotation and depth. Seeing young players step up and make their mark is always one of the most enjoyable parts of following football closely, because it reminds you that talent development is just as critical as star power in determining the long-term success of a franchise. Finally, looking ahead to the upcoming game against the Buccaneers, the timing and scheduling changes could play in the 49ers' favor. Originally slated for an early morning slot, the game has been moved to a more favorable afternoon time, which not only improves preparation, but also allows players to be at their peak in terms of energy and focus. These subtle factors can have a meaningful impact on performance, especially in matchups that are expected to be competitive. The combination of favorable timing, emerging talent, and strategic depth sets up a scenario where the 49ers have a real chance to dominate both physically and mentally. Looking at the bigger picture, the 49ers are in a really exciting spot this season. Sitting at 4 wins and 1 loss, the team has shown resilience, depth, and a willingness to step up in high-pressure moments. That record doesn't just tell you who won or lost. It tells a story about the intensity and preparation behind every game. The way this team has been able to respond to adversity, whether it's injuries or unexpected plays from opponents, is what separates good teams from elite teams. Every week, we're seeing the coaching staff make adjustments, the players execute under pressure, and even the rookies begin to carve out their roles in meaningful ways. It's this combination of talent, strategy, and determination that keeps the 49ers competitive in every matchup, no matter how challenging it might appear on paper. Injuries have been a huge storyline, but the team's approach to handling them has been smart and calculated. Brock Purdy avoiding injured reserve is huge for maintaining continuity on offense. Continuity matters in football more than many people realize. It's not just about who is on the field, but how well players understand each other's tendencies, how timing develops between the quarterback and receivers, and how trust builds across the offensive line. Kevin Givens rejoining practice adds another piece to the defensive puzzle, giving the line flexibility and depth that will be crucial in the coming weeks. Depth isn't just about having backups. It's about having reliable, game-ready players who can step in without disrupting the flow of the team. And the fact that Colton McKivitz and Connor Colby are healthy and ready to play provides stability in key positions, which is critical for any team with playoff aspirations. The defensive front has been one of the more fascinating stories of the season. With so many young players rotating in, there's been a learning curve, but it's also been a platform for development. Mike Williams has quietly become a key contributor, showing the kind of growth that can define a young player's career. While he might not be leading in sacks yet, his ability to control gaps, set the edge, and influence the run game is invaluable. In a league where defensive schemes can make or break a season, having a player like Williams, who is versatile and improving week by week, gives the coaching staff confidence to try different looks and schemes without risking the team's effectiveness. Watching him adapt and grow, especially at just 21 years old, is one of the most exciting narratives of this season. The secondary has also been a focal point for matchups. With the Buccaneers missing key cornerbacks, the Niners have an opportunity to test their passing game against less experienced defenders. This is where strategy, preparation, and execution converge. It's not just about throwing deep or running certain routes. It's about reading the defense, recognizing weaknesses, and exploiting them efficiently. Mac Jones may not have the highest profile, but his placement in situational metrics shows how effective decision-making can shift a game. The 49ers are not just relying on raw talent. They're using analytics, preparation, and situational awareness to create advantages wherever possible. Special teams and rotational players are also stepping into meaningful roles. With injuries impacting the depth chart, young players like Sebastian Valdez have the chance to make their mark. Preseason and training camp performances often get overlooked, but those moments are where coaching staffs identify players who can contribute immediately when opportunity strikes. Valdez has shown flashes of impact, and now he's being given the chance to translate that into regular season production. It's always fascinating to see which young players rise to the occasion, and the 49ers' approach to integrating them gradually ensures they're set up for success rather than being thrown into overwhelming situations. On the offensive side, the team is maintaining a balanced approach while adjusting to situational challenges. Brock Purdy's ability to remain active, even if limited, ensures the offense keeps its rhythm. Meanwhile, Ricky Pearl continues to be a reliable weapon, capable of making spectacular plays in high-pressure moments. These individual moments, whether they're one-handed catches, perfectly executed conversions, or strategic route adjustments, are what give this offense its identity. Every week, it's about executing the fundamentals while also making the spectacular plays that swing momentum and energize the team and fans alike. Looking at upcoming matchups, the timing and travel considerations will play a subtle but important role. The move to a more favorable game time for the East Coast trip against the Buccaneers provides a better opportunity for the players to be at their peak physically and mentally. Time zones, rest periods, and travel fatigue might seem minor, but they can influence performance, particularly in a sport as physically demanding as football. The 49ers are positioned to maximize every advantage available, which is a reflection of the coaching staff's attention to detail and the players' professionalism. Even with the challenges of a long season, including a demanding schedule and roster management, the team's trajectory feels positive. There's a blend of veteran leadership and youthful energy that keeps practices competitive, rotations dynamic, and game day performances high level. Each week, players are gaining experience, building chemistry, and finding ways to execute in critical moments. The offensive line stability, defensive rotation, and special teams contributions all come together to form a cohesive unit capable of competing against any team in the league. The development of young players like Mike Williams, combined with the continued excellence of established stars, sets the stage for a season where the 49ers can not only dominate games, but also establish themselves as one of the league's most well-rounded and resilient squads. But before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to 49ers Zone and hit the like button on this video. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the San Francisco 49ers. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. Whispers are swirling around the NFL, and San Francisco 49ers fans might want to grab their binoculars, because the latest rumor could shake the defensive line to its core. Sources close to the team claim that defensive tackle Jeffrey Simmons has reportedly signed with the 49ers, and if true, this move could instantly transform the squad's front seven. Simmons, known for his relentless motor and disruptive ability in the trenches, has been a coveted player for years. His explosiveness off the snap and uncanny ability to collapse the pocket have made quarterbacks sweat just by seeing him line up. Now, the murmurs suggest that the 49ers have secured his services, and the potential impact is already causing a buzz across social media and NFL circles alike. Imagine a defensive line anchored by Simmons, complementing the already fierce presence of Nick Bosa and Arik Armstead. The synergy alone could turn San Francisco's defensive front into one of the most feared units in the league. The chatter among insiders hints that the 49ers are finally willing to pay top dollar for a game-changer, and Simmons fits the bill perfectly. His arrival would not only boost the pass rush, but also strengthen the run defense, giving opposing offenses nightmares planning around him. While nothing is confirmed, the rumor mills are running hot. Fans are speculating about the defensive schemes head coach Kyle Shanahan could implement with Simmons in the mix. Could the 49ers finally field a defensive line that rivals the historic units of the past? The excitement is palpable, and even rival teams are reportedly keeping a close eye on the potential signing. Of course, caution is advised. Rumors have a habit of drifting away as quickly as they surface. But if this turns out to be true, the 49ers might have just pulled off a coup that sends shockwaves across the NFC. The mere thought of Simmons donning the red and gold already has fans dreaming of a defense that could dominate every snap. As the NFL offseason unfolds, one thing is certain. Wherever Jeffrey Simmons ends up, the headlines won't stop. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the San Francisco 49ers, make sure to subscribe to 49ers Zone and give this video a like. We always look forward to hearing your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.